Good morning, Alex. This is your guide to the Yashica. Here it is. So, as you see, you use your controls on top. There takes it. That shows how many shots you've got left. I've got 16 at the moment. I'm going to take some photos and get rid of this film. There's your exposure meter, and it also shows up. See if we can see this. There it is. So you can see that green. If I press the button on the front, you'll see it move slightly. I'll just adjust my settings to overexpose. See if I can get this to work. And you'll notice in a second the meter move. There it is. So I'm pressing the button on the front and it goes, which is that one just there. And it'll show you if you're under or overexposed. If it goes too far to the right, then it's overexposed. So, the controls you need to worry about are setting your ISO at the start when you first buy your film is done with this thing here. See that? That's your ISO. So if I change this here, changes it to 100, 200, 400 or 800. Okay, so you probably buy something like 100. I'd recommend 100 for sunlight. Then here's your aperture. This is this ring here. This opens up. That's closing up the aperture, so it's darker. If it's very bright, you want to close it right up to 16 and have a fairly quick shutter speed. So that's 1/500th of a second. That's 125ths of a second. So we're getting slower as we go to the bigger numbers. Here's an 1/8 of a second, half a second, 1 second, or B is bulb. You can hold down the shutter. Let's do an experiment here. You'll see I can just hold it down and let go. So you can do a really long one in the night. So yes, you've got your aperture here, your speed of shutter speed here, so going quicker as we go to those lower numbers. That's the quickest, 1/500th of a second. Here's the most open aperture, 1.4, which is super wide and very short depth of field. And going to very closed to a longer depth of field. So if you're outdoors, you've got lots of sunlight, you probably want to 116 and around here. And then your focus is this one here, and as you see at the bottom, you'll see here we've got feet and meters, so we can go to infinity. So a lot of the time we'll just go to infinity all the way around, and you can just get especially if you're in a mode which is a long depth of field, so 16 aperture, then you'll be able to set it to maximum focus, and because you've got such a wide depth of field, you'll be able to, most things from 2 or 3 meters away to infinity will be in focus. But as soon as you start dropping that aperture value to be wider, you're going to need to really worry about your focus. And that is done. Again, here I'll show you the demonstration if I can. Here. So you'll see, can we see the double image in the middle? We can. What we have to do is try and line those up. Now, you might not see it on the video here, but you'll see in this one, there's a white box right in the middle here, which is just that thing there. If you can, in dark situations, you won't see what you're trying to line up with. If you try and aim it at a line and then focus, can we see? Yes, you can just see the edge of that window moving as I focus it to line up with itself. Can you see that? And then it goes to the right there, and then it goes back to line up with itself. So let's try and focus that again. If I use the iPhone to focus, now we can see it even better. See, it's going out, and then it goes in. Okay, so depending on what you're aiming at, you can line it up. So generally a vertical line will be, you can see it moving there. Okay, so that's your basic guide to the Yashica, and happy snapping.